Well, while that cooks down for that last 10, 15, or what have you seconds, um, give me a second here. Grab that, open the dashboard. There we go. Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Vexing Cat, and I am returning to the microphone. Do 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 do. I'm kidding. I am going to be continuing the next section, what I'm going to just affectionately call part three of the Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, illustrated, of course, by Maurice and Edward Detmold, the twins. Um, I did want to celebrate because the title of this particular section is called Tiger, Tiger. Um, I'll read the poem here in just a moment. Actually, I think I read the poem last time. I did the Road Song of the Bandalar. I finished with that last time. Um, the next section is called Tiger, Tiger, and I did want to showcase an artist that I admire at this time. So, this beautiful picture of a like stripy white cat looking through the looking glass at a tiger surrounding it. This artwork is by Sachin Tang, which is a Taiwanese American artist that works in New York City. Um, they have worked for multiple companies over the years, multiple different industries. They are an incredibly talented artist, like absurdly talented. Like they're mech creatures. They're like surrealism, just fantastic works. Um, Here, let me grab this one. Here is another one of their pieces here. This beautiful foliage bear and this watery moose. Um, like this one of the Wicked Witch of the West. I like how their figures, their use of color theory is just incredible. Their line work is warm and lively. Um, their attention to detail is just impeccable. Um, one more. There we go. I'll leave that one up while I continue to talk about them. So, they are just a human artist, you know, a real creator in a world that's full of AI creators right now. Um, they have seen in their lifetime pixels replace paint and ink, polygons replace puppets and clay, and he believes that AI might be the death knell for most artists. But he still continues to create, and he is a accomplished artist. He went to the Pratt Institute. He got a gold medal for Society of Illustrators in 2010. Um, He's been like on the cover art for like High Fructose Volume 28. He's been involved with Imagine if FX for a number of years. He's just really, really cool. So I will grab one more piece. It's so hard to choose. I guess this one. Open in a new
Hi
image.
Gara 13 gifted 5 subscriptions to the community.
Hi, Gara. Hi, Gara has gifted 5 gifted subs. Also, excellent use of showcasing the new alerts. I really appreciate the gifted subs. Thank you for continuing to share your enthusiasm for books and art on my stream, Higara. It is really wonderful. Thank you. And also, I hope you like the new alerts. I got 4 of them. I have a new follower alert, a new subscriber alert, a alert for any sort of bits donation, and then also a alert for one more brain. It's fizzling out a little bit. Follower, subscriber, bits, and I don't remember. Just, I don't know. Um, but here's another one of their works here. They're just stupendously talented, but has nothing to do with the story. Obviously, we know from Berserk. Um, let me go over here because that's going to drive me crazy. Da 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 da. So following, subscriber, cheer, like any sort of gift, like gifted biddies. Oh, and I have a raid alert. That's the last one. Ah ha ha ha! Go big brain. Um, but yes. So today we are covering Tiger Tiger in the Jungle Book. So let me get ready to get started on that now. Hopefully everything is working out and the subtitles are working, the audio is working, um, all that jazz and all that jazz we've got here. Ba ba and all that jazz. I can't tell. Let me go back to the channel to see. So, are the subs actually showing up somewhere? I can't tell. I do have. Oh, they do. If you have, okay, they are. There they are. You're paying your dues. Late book. Those dang late books. Just seem to be able to get them in back in time. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Close out of all this artwork here. And again, that was Sachin Tang is the artist that I'm showcasing here. Sachin Tang. If anyone is interested in looking them up and furthering your autistic education. Yes, they actually showed up on my Twitter page today, and I was like, hot dang, that is just too perfect. And I love the gradation in their line work and the roughness and the texture of the fur. Just great piece, great piece. But I am somewhat biased. Okay, so we are reading Tiger Tiger, and at the beginning of Tiger Tiger is, it looks like a short poem. What of the hunting, hunter bold? Brother, the watch was long and cold. What of the quarry ye went to kill? Brother, he crops in the jungle still. Where is the power that made your pride? Brother, it ebbs from my flank and side. Where is the haste that ye hurry by? Brother, I go to my lair to die. That's heavy. Tang, I've heard I've heard of that as a, yeah, fair enough. Space Tang. Okay, so as you can see, there's a little bit of artwork at the front of this. I'm not sure how much. Let's see, go up here, go up to my list of pictures. And okay, I'm pretty confident I have most of the pictures from this, and if not, I can always double check during the break. Okay, Tiger Tiger. Now, we must go back to the last tale, but one, when Mowgli left the wolf's cave after the fight with the pack at the Council Rock. He went down to the plowed lands where the villagers lived. But he would not stop there because it was too near to the jungle. And he knew that he had made at last one bad enemy at the council. So he hurried on, keeping to the rough road that ran down the valley, and followed it at a steady jog trot for nearly 20 miles, till he came to a country that he did not know. The valley opened out into a great plain dotted over with rocks and cut up by ravines. At one end stood a little village, and at the other the thick jungle came down in a sweep to the grazing grounds, and stopped there, as though it had been cut off with a hoe. All over the plain, cattle and buffaloes were grazing, and when the little boys in charge of the herds saw Mowgli, they shouted and ran away. And the yellow pariah dogs that hang about every Indian village barked. Mowgli walked on, for he was feeling hungry, and when he came to the village gate, he saw the big thorn bush that was drawn up before the gate at twilight, pushed to one side. "Umph!" he said, for he had come across more than one such barricade in his night rambles after things to eat. So men are afraid of the people of the jungle here also. He sat down by the gate, and when a man came out, he stood up, opened him mouth. Ugh, ugh. It read so horribly wrong. Opened his mouth and pointed down it to show. What? I think I'm gonna have a stroke. He sat down by the gate, and when a man came out, he stood up, opened him mouth, and pointed down it to show that he wanted food. The man stared and ran back up the one street of the village, shouting for the priest, who was a big, fat man, dressed in white, with a red and yellow mark on his forehead. The priest came to the gate, and with him at least 100 people, who stared and talked and shouted and pointed at Mowgli. "They have no manners, these men folk," said Mowgli to himself. Only the gray ape would behave as they do, so he threw back his long hair and frowned at the crowd. "What is there to be afraid of?" said the priest. "Look at the marks on his arms and legs. They are the bites of wolves. He is but a wolf child run away from the jungle." I heard your brain cells screeching to a halt, and the cringe was unreal. You're not wrong. My brain went, wait, what, what? Like when there's a nick in a record player and it just skipped over the place. Just couldn't process it for a second. Ugh, it bad English. Of course, in playing together, the cubs had often nipped Mowgli harder than they intended, and there were white scars all over his arms and legs. But he would have been the last person in the world to call these bites, for he knew what real biting meant. "Are, are!" said 2 or 3 women together. "To be bitten by wolves, poor child, he is a handsome boy. He has eyes like red fire. By my honor, Mesua, he is not unlike thy boy that was taken by the tiger." "Let me look," said a woman with heavy copper rings on her wrists and ankles, and she peered at Mowgli under the palm of her hand. "Indeed, he is not. He is thinner, but he has the very look of my boy." The priest was a clever man, and he knew that Mesua was wife to the richest villager in the place. So he looked up at the sky for a minute and said solemnly, "What the jungle has taken, the jungle has restored. Take the boy into thy house, my sister, and forget not to honor the priest who sees so far into the lives of men." "By the bull that bought me," said Mowgli to himself, "but all this talking is like another looking over by the pack. Well, if I am a man I must become." The crowd parted as the woman beckoned Mowgli to her hut, where there was a red lacquered bedstead, a great earthen grain chest with curious raised patterns on it, 1/2 dozen copper cooking pots. Oh wow, they were rich, rich. An image of a Hindu god in a little alcove, and on the wall a real looking glass, such as they sell at the country fairs. She gave him a long drink of milk and some bread, and then she laid her hand on his head and looked into his eyes, for she thought perhaps that he might be her real son, come back from the jungle where the tiger had taken him. So she said, "Nathu, o Nathu." Mowgli did not show that he knew the name. "Dost thou not remember the day when I gave thee thy new shoes?" She touched his foot, and it was almost as hard as horn. "No," she said sorrowfully. Those feet have never worn shoes. But thou art very like my Nathu, and thou shalt be my son." Mowgli was uneasy, because he had never been under a roof before, but as he looked at the thatch, he saw that he could tear it out any time if he wanted to get away, and that the window had no fastenings. What is the good of man? What is the good of what is the good of a man, he said to himself at last, if he does not understand man's talk? Now I am as silly and dumb as a man would be with us in the jungle. I must learn their talk. It was not for fun that he had learned while he was with the wolves to imitate the challenge of bucks in the jungle and the grunt of the little wild pig. So as soon as Mesua pronounced a word, Mowgli would imitate it almost perfectly, and before dark he had learned the names of many things in the hut. There was a difficulty at bedtime, because Mowgli would not sleep under anything that looked so like a panther trap as that hut. And when they shut the door, he went through the window. "Give him his will," said Mesua's husband. Remember, he can never till now have slept on a bed. If he is indeed sent in the place of our son, he will not run away." So Mowgli stretched himself in some long, clean grass at the edge of the field, but before he had closed his eyes, a soft gray nose poked him under the chin. "Phew!" said Gray Brother. He was the eldest of Mother Wolf's cubs. "This is a poor reward for following thee 20 miles. Thou smellest of wood smoke and cattle, altogether like a man already. Wake, little brother, I bring news." "Are all well in the jungle?" said Mowgli, hugging him. "Mm." "All except the wolves that were burned with the red flower. Now listen. Shere Khan has gone away to hunt far off till his coat grows again, for he is badly singed. When he returns, he swears that he will lay thy bones in the Wengunga. There are 2 words to that. I also have made a little promise, but news is always good. I am tired tonight. Very tired. With new things, Gray Brother. But bring me the news. But bring me the news always. Thou wilt not forget that thou art a wolf. Men will not make thee forget," said Gray Brother anxiously. "Never. I will always remember that I love thee and all in our cave, but also I will always remember that I have been cast out of the pack, and that thou mayest be cast out of another pack. Men are only men, little brother, and their talk is like the talk of frogs in a pond. When I come down here again, I will wait for thee in the bamboos at the edge of the grazing ground." For 3 months after that night, Mowgli hardly ever left the village gate. He was so busy learning the ways and customs of men. First, he had to wear a cloth round him, which annoyed him horribly. Fair. And then he had to learn about money, which he did not in the least understand, and about plowing, of which he did not see the use. Then the little children in the village made him very angry. Luckily, the law of the jungle had taught him to keep his temper, for in the jungle, life and food depend on keeping your temper. But when they made fun of him because he would not play games or fly kites, or because he mispronounced some word, only the knowledge that it was unsportsmanlike to kill little naked cubs kept him from picking them up and breaking them in two. Wowza. He did not know his own strength in the least. In the jungle, he knew he was weak compared with the beasts, but in the village, people said he was as strong as a bull, and Mowgli had not the faintest idea of the difference that caste makes between man and man. When the potter's donkey slipped in the clay pit, Mowgli hauled it out by the tail and helped it to stack the pots for their journey to the market at Kanhiwawa. Kanhiwara. There we go. That was a that was very shocking too, for the potter is a low caste man and his donkey is worse. What? I When the priest when the priest scolded him, Mowgli threatened to put him on the donkey too, and the priest told Messua's husband that Mowgli had better be set to work as soon as possible, and the village headman told Mowgli that he would have to go out with the buffaloes next day and herd them while they grazed. No one was more pleased than Mowgli, and that night, because he had been appointed a servant of the village, as it were, he went off to a circle that met every evening on a masonry platform under a great fig tree. It was the village club, and the headman and the watchman and the barber who knew all the gossip of the village, and old Buldeo, the village hunter, who had a tower musket, met and smoked. Let me pull up that picture. Where is it? There it is. Open in browser. There we go. So here he is, surrounded by those men, all smoking, the village club, and poor Mowgli there, wearing nothing but a loincloth and being very surly. The monkeys sat and talked in the upper branches, and there was a hole under the platform where a cobra lived, and he had his little platter of milk every night because he was sacred, and the old men sat around the tree and talked, and pulled at big hookahs, the water pipes, till far into the night. I did not know that's how you spelled that. Huh, the more you know. They told wonderful tales of gods and men and ghosts, and Buldeo told even more wonderful ones of the ways of beasts in the jungle, till the eyes of the children sitting outside the circle bulged out of their heads. Most of the tales were about animals, for the jungle was always at their door. The deer and the wild pig grubbed up their crops, and now and again the tiger carried off a man at twilight within sight of the village gates. Mowgli, who naturally knew something about what they were talking of, had to cover his face, not to show that he was laughing, while Buldeo, the tower musket across his knees, climbed on from one wonderful story to another, and Mowgli's shoulders shook. Buldeo was explaining how the tiger that carried away Messua's son was a ghost tiger, and his body was inhabited by the ghost of a wicked old money lender who had died some years ago. And I know that this is true, he said, because Purna Das always limped from the blow that he got in a riot when his account books were burned, and the tiger that I speak of, he limps too, for the tracks of his pads are unequal. True, true, that must be true, said the graybeards, nodding together. Are all these tales such cobwebs of moon talk? Said Mowgli. That tiger limps because he was born lame, as everyone knows. To talk of the soul of a money-lender in a beast that never had the courage of a jackal is child's talk. Buldeo was speechless with surprise for a moment, and the headman stared. "Oh ho! It is the jungle brat, is it?" said Buldeo. "If thou art so wise, better bring his hide to Kawihara, for the government has set 100 rupees $30 on his life." I'm kind of curious what the conversion of USD to Indian currency would be now. $30 for all the effort into hunting a tiger is kind of ridiculous to me, but what do I know? Better still, do not talk when thy elders speak. Mowgli rose to go. "All the evening I have lain here listening," he called back over his shoulder, "and except once or twice, Buldeo has not said one word of truth concerning the jungle, which is at his very doors." "Wild raid?" Oh my gosh. Welcome in, guys. I wonder if it'll show the new alert. It might. It might not. I don't know how it works. Vexing, Devi, Tiny, welcome in, guys. That means I'm rating myself. Oh, there it is. Well, that's a new follower
Soraya
alert.
_VT just followed.
Soraya VT. Oh, awesome. Are you another streamer? Fantastic. We love streamers here. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, Raiders. If you. The best is vexing. Thank you. Um, Hello, dear Raiders. Welcome to my library. I am Vexing Cat, and if this is your first visit, feel free to settle in. I read classic literature and poetry, and occasionally play video games. Feel free to take a second, get settled in. Remember to hydrate while you've been playing games for a few hours now. Caffeinate, grab a snack, curl up with a blanket, whatever you need to take a break. And I really appreciate you stopping by, even if you can only stay a few minutes. I am currently reading The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. This was a book that was published in, I believe, 1903. I'll double check on the date. But it is beautifully illustrated by Edward and his brother Maurice Detmold. And I just showed one picture. I'll just pull it back up. So this is one of the paintings by the Detmold brothers, the village club. So Mowgli here is sitting very surly next to this village, this group of older men telling stories. Um, Yep, anytime wild. I just read your comment here. Yeah, new follow alert is awesome. May have to hit you up for my artist on that. I had so the artist is Arbakek, and I'll get you a link on their content. And then it was rigged by Nico Rem, who took a really cool image and made it so much more. Here, let me pull up. I guess show them off a little bit, right? That's what you're supposed to do. I was happy to let them just sit by. Okay. Ba ba ba. Okay. Copy. Discord is misbehaving as per usual. I do try to make things easier on myself. I don't always succeed. But the raid emote or raid alert that should have gone active, I don't know, I might have to test it. So this is the raid alert right here. This is the art done by Arbakek. And then, of course, that was further animated by um, doo -doo -doo. So I don't think it actually showed it, but I'm still figuring things out with these Twitch alerts, so that's on me. Here we go. This is it animated. So this is what it's supposed to look like so it's a little bit slow there for while it was loading it up. Yep. I really think Nico Rem really gave it a lot of life and a lot of movement in a really delightful way. Anyway, I will get you those links though after stream. Just send me a message, Wild, on Discord, and I'll get you the contact info for both of them. It really is, and I got 4 of them done. I have planned out 4 more, all different kinds of alerts. These ones was follow, subscribe, raid, and any bit donation. I'm gonna do a hydrate, caffeinate snack, and probably a hype train redeem next time. And then I also was thinking of like doing another 4 stack of like goal started, goal completed, or not hype train, but like charity donation. Because I think by my anniversary, I'd be in a really good spot to maybe do some kind of charity donation. Um, I'd really like to work with. There's some amazing um, international library charities that I would like to support if at all possible. Um, yes. Okay. I have gotten into the weeds. Once again, settle in. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for rating always. It was a pleasure watching you play that game. Um, I like I like that dungeon crawler. You were cooking through it though. I'm really surprised you made it all the way to chapter 8. I'm guessing since I had to dip over here, you probably finished the game wild. Hmm. Coffee. A little bit of coffee. Uh, nice. That's sick. Congratulations. Well, another one checked off the list. I believe it. I believe it. Those side scrollers are pretty fun. I love some of the mechanics that they put into boss fights. They're interesting. Let me think here. You have upcoming, there is going to be on Friday. You have something going on Friday, right? You're doing a, let me do you a quick shout out for anybody that's here that hasn't seen the Wild content before. Wild, there we go. Which model this will be?
Now,
Okay,
hold
current
on. If
model.
she
Oh, that
actually
was Slay the
ended a world, are
Princess.
you sure we want to do this?
Okay.
Are you sure we want to rescue?
That timing!
Okay, fantastic. Yes. So Wildosis is going to be doing another. Yep, that was a good clip for sure. Wild, you're going to be doing a big event on Friday or is it Saturday? I want to make sure I've got the right date. Saturday. Okay, Saturday is going to be like all day raiding. I think it's like Bruce or Deuce Brickinson. Then we have Red Panda. Then Wild. I know Aloria is going to be in the afternoon. A Tiny, I don't know if you're streaming on Saturday as well. It's just going to be one after another. It's like a whole Underrealm smorgasbord, which tons of talent, amazing streamers. I'm really excited to catch some of that. Yep. Okay. So Wild, then you. So Wild, then Tiny, then Aloria, and then wrapping up at the end of the day for a. You're gonna. Is it a one-shot Wild that you're doing? You've got a bunch of people coming in, and you're gonna be doing a live stream with one of those spin the wheel of dooms, which I adore because through bit donations and gifted subs, you get to spin the wheel and do terrible things for the D&D party, which I derived great pleasure from doing. It was horrifying for them because I just like another one and another one. Yep, the wheel was great. Yeah, I completely derailed the stream. And it's like, all right, guys, have a good time. I gotta go stream. Bye. Oh, man. But I don't stream on Saturday, so you're safe. I'll get to stay there and just derail it the whole time, not just the first, hour. Okay. I'm quite silly, but Wild, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for sharing the Underrealm community with me. Um yeah, I'm just happy you guys are here. Please take care of yourselves, eat, hydrate, whatever you need to do. Relax to the sound of my voice as I am reading. And yeah, if I don't see you before then, I will be there on Saturday. Or at least it's going to be hard because I think the first stream starts at like 9 a.m. BST, which is midnight Friday night for me. So I might have to miss out on the first couple. I'm not sure I can make Deuce, but I might be able to make Panda, and then we'll go from there. Okay. We are on part 3, Tiger Tiger, of the Jungle Book. And we're kind of midway through the chapter because the way Rudyard wrote these, there's no like normal breaks. So this is as good as it's gonna get. All right. Let's see. I have rambled enough, I'm sure. Mowgli rose to go. All the evening I have lain here listening, he called back over his shoulder, and except once or twice, Buldeo has not said one word of truth concerning the jungle, which is at his very doors. How then shall I believe the tales of ghosts and gods and goblins which he says he has seen? It is full time that boy went to herding, said the head man, while Buldeo puffed and snorted at Mowgli's impertinence. The custom of most Indian villages is for a few boys to take the cattle and buffaloes out to graze in the early morning and bring them back at night. And the very cattle that would trample a white man to death allow themselves to be banged and bullied and shouted at by children that hardly come up to their noses. So long as the boys keep with the herds, they are safe, for not even the tiger will charge a mob of cattle. But if they straggle to pick flowers or hunt lizards, they are sometimes carried off. Mowgli went through the village street in the dawn, sitting on the back of Rama, the great herd bull, and the salty blue buffaloes with their long, backward sweeping horns and savage eyes rose out of their byres one by one and followed him, and Mowgli made it very clear to the children with him that he was the master. He beat the buffaloes with a long, polished bamboo, and told Kamya, one of the boys, to graze the cattle by themselves, while he went on with the buffaloes, and to be very careful not to stray away from the herd. An Indian grazing ground is all rocks and scrub and tussocks and little ravines, among which the herds scatter and disappear. The buffaloes generally keep to the pools and muddy places, where they lie wallowing or basking in the warm mud for hours. Mowgli drove them on to the edge of the plain, where Wang, where the Waingunga River came out of the jungle. Then he dropped from Rama's neck, trotted off to a bamboo clump, and found Gray Brother. Ah, said Gray Brother, I have waited here very many days. What is the meaning of this cattle herding work? It is an order, said Mowgli. I am a village herd for a while. What news of Shere Khan? He has come back to this country, and has waited here a long time for thee. Now he is gone off again, for the game is scarce. But he means to kill thee. Very good, said Mowgli. So long as he is away, do thou or one of the brothers sit on that rock, so that I can see thee as I come out of the village. When he comes back, wait for me in the ravine by the dak tree in the center of the plain. We need not walk into Shere Khan's mouth. Then Mowgli picked out a shady place and lay down and slept while the buffaloes grazed round him. Herding in India is one of the laziest things in the world. The cattle move and crunch and lie down and move on again, and they do not even low. They only grunt, and the buffaloes very seldom say anything, but get down into the muddy pools one after another, and work their way into the mud till only their noses and staring china blue eyes show above the surface, and there they lie like logs. The sun makes the rocks dance in the heat, and the herd children hear one kite, never any more, whistling almost out of sight overhead, and they know that if they died, or a cow died, that kite would sweep down, and the next kite miles away would see him drop and follow, and the next, and the next. And almost before they were dead, there would be a score of hungry kites come out of nowhere. Then they sleep and wake and sleep again, and weave little baskets of dried grass and put grasshoppers in them, or catch two praying mantises. Mantises? Two praying mantises, and make them fight, or string a necklace of red and black jungle nuts, or watch a lizard basking on a rock, or a snake hunting a frog near the wallows. Then they sing long, long songs with odd native quavers at the end of them, and the day seems longer than most people's whole lives. And perhaps they make a mud castle with mud figures of men and horses and buffaloes, and put reeds into the men's hands, and pretend they are kings and the figures are their armies, or that they are gods to be worshipped. Then evening comes, and the children call, and the buffaloes lumber out of the sticky mud with noises like gunshots going off, one after the other, and they all string across the gray plain back to the twinkling village lights. Day after day, Mowgli would lead the buffaloes out to their wallows, and day after day he would see Gray Brother's back, a mile and a half away across the plain, so he knew that Shere Khan had not come back. And day after day he would lie on the grass, listening to the noise round him and dreaming of the old days in the jungle. If Shere Khan had made a false step, with his lame paw up in the jungles by the Wengunga, Mowgli would have heard him in those long, still mornings. At last, a day came when he did not see Gray Brother at the signal place, and he laughed and headed the buffaloes for the ravine by the dak tree, which was all covered with gold-red flowers. There sat Gray Brother, every bristle on his back lifted. He has hidden for a month to throw thee off thy guard. He crossed the ranges last night with Tabaqui, hot foot on thy trail, said the wolf, panting. Mowgli frowned. I am not afraid of Shere Khan, but Tabaqui is very cunning. Have no fear, said Gray Brother, licking his lips a little. I met Tabaqui in the dawn. Now he is telling all his wisdom to the kites, but he told me everything before I broke his back. Shere Khan's plan is to wait for thee at the village gate this evening, for thee and for no one else. He is lying up now in the big dry ravine at the Wengunga. Just casually, Gray Brother killed Tabaqui, which I think was like a it was like a smaller hyena wolf-like creature. I wonder if it was like an aardwolf, maybe. What is the Tabaqui? I'm actually curious what that is. Tabaqui. Helps if I spell it correctly. Tabaqui. Well, interesting. I remember this in the Tabaqui in the actual Disney version. So it's some kind of hyena-like creature, which explains the sepsis sinking in and the madness from their bites, from rabies or other diseases if you survive. A golden jackal. Feeds on scraps from either Shere Khan or the wolves of the Seoni pack. In adaptations, he's a striped hyena. So, whatever a golden jackal was. Let's see. Okay, like a very small interest. Canis aurarius, common jackal, wolf-like canid in the native. So it's in the canine family, but very much smaller. 24 pounds. Oh yeah, way smaller than a wolf would be. Fascinating. There we go. I'll start on the right side paragraph there. Now he is telling all his wisdom to the kites. but he told me everything before I broke his back. Shere Khan's plan is to wait for thee at the village gate this evening. For thee and for no one else. He is lying up now in the big dry ravine of the Wengunga. Has he eaten today, or does he hunt empty? Said Mowgli, for the answer meant life or death to him. He killed at dawn a pig, and he has drunk too. Remember, Shere Khan could never fast even for the sake of revenge. Oh, fool, fool, what a cub's cub it is. Eaten and drunk too. He thinks that I shall wait till he has left. Now where does he lie up? If there were but 10 of us, we might pull him down as he lies. These buffaloes will not charge unless they wind him, and I cannot speak their language. Can we get behind his track so that they may smell it? He swam far down the Wengunga to that cut-off, said Grey Brother. Tabaqui told him that I know. He would never have thought of it alone. Mowgli stood with his finger in his mouth, thinking. The big ravine of the Wengunga that opens out on the plain, not half a mile from here. I can take the herd round through the jungle to the head of the ravine and then sweep down. But he would slink out at the foot. We must block that end. Grey Brother, canst thou cut the herd in two for me? Not I, perhaps, but I have brought a wise helper. Grey Brother trotted off and dropped into a hole. Then there lifted up a huge grey head that Mowgli knew well, and the hot air was filled with the most desolate cry of all the jungle, the hunting howl of a wolf at midday. Akela! Akela! Said Mowgli, clapping his hands. I might have known that thou wouldst not forget me. We have a big work in hand. Cut the herd in two, Akela. Keep the cows and calves together, and the bulls and the plow buffaloes by themselves. The two wolves ran, ladies' chain fashion, in and out of the herd, which snorted and threw up its head and separated into two clumps. In one, the cow buffaloes stood, with their calves in the center, and glared and pawed, ready, if a wolf would only stay still, to charge down and trample the life out of him. In the other bulls and the young bulls snorted. In the other, the bulls and the young bulls snorted and stamped, but they then... Bleh. Clearly I need to hydrate. Oof. All right, let's give it a go. In the other, the bulls and the young bulls snorted and stamped. But though they looked more imposing, they were much less dangerous, for they had no calves to protect. No 6 men could have divided the herd so neatly. What orders? Panted Akela.
Drink water. Become
They are trying to join again. All right, you got it.
Snack time!
Yep, moist. And snack. I already had 2 Danishes. I'm good on snacks, but I appreciate the thought. I am quite good for the time being full up on Danish pastry full of cheese and apples and lemons. Ba-ba-ba. What orders? Panted Akela. They are trying to join again. Mowgli slipped onto Rama's back. Drive the bulls away to the left, Akela. Grey Brother, when we are gone, hold the cows together and drive them into the foot of the ravine. How far? Said Grey Brother, panting and snapping. Till the sides are higher than Shere Khan can jump, shouted Mowgli. Keep them there till we come down. The bulls swept off as Akela bade, and Grey Brother stomped in front of the cows. They charged down on him, and he ran just before them to the foot of the ravine as Akela drove the bulls far to the left. Well done! Another charge, and they are fairly started. Careful now, careful, Akela. A snap too much, and the bulls will charge. Hooja! This is wider work than driving Black Buck. Didst thou think these creatures could move so swiftly? Mowgli called. I have hunted these too in my time, gasped Akela in the dust. Shall I turn them into the jungle? Aye, turn, swiftly turn them. Rama is mad with rage. Oh, if I could only tell him what I need of him today. The bulls were turned to the right this time and crashed into the standing thicket. The other herd children, watching with the cattle half a mile away, hurried to the village as fast as their legs could carry them, crying that the buffaloes had gone mad and run away. But Mowgli's plan was simple enough. All he wanted to do was to make a big circle uphill and get at the head of the ravine, and then down the bull, and then take the bulls down. Oh,
Dan_Silver Knight just followed.
welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Dan Silver Knight. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the follow, and thank you for showing off my new alert. I appreciate you. But Mowgli's plan was simple enough. All he wanted to do was to make a big circle uphill and get at the head of the ravine, and then take the bulls down it and catch Shere Khan between the bulls and the cows. For he knew that after a meal and a full drink, Shere Khan would not be in any condition to fight or to clamber up the sides of the ravine. He was soothing the buffaloes now by voice, and Akela had dropped far to the rear, only whimpering once or twice to hurry the rear guard. It was a long, long circle, for they did not wish to get too near the ravine and give Shere Khan warning. At last, Mowgli rounded up the bewildered herd at the head of the ravine on a grassy patch that sloped steeply down to the ravine itself. From that height, you could see across the tops of the trees down to the plain below. But what Mowgli looked at was the sides of the ravine. He saw with a great deal of satisfaction that they ran nearly straight up and down, and the vines and creepers that hung over them would give no foothold to a tiger who wanted to get out. Let them breathe, Akela, he said, holding up his hand. They have not winded him yet. Let them breathe. I must tell Shere Khan who comes. We have him in the trap. He put his hands to his mouth and shouted down the ravine. It was almost like shouting down a tunnel, and the echoes jumped from rock to rock. After a long time there came back the drawling, sleepy snarl of a full-fed tiger, just awakened. Who calls? Said Shere Khan, and a splendid peacock fluttered up out of the ravine, screeching. I, Mowgli, cattle thief, it is time to come to the council rock. Down. Hurry them down, Akela. Down, Rama, down. The herd paused for an instant at the edge of the slope, but Akela gave tongue in the full hunting yell, and they pitched over one after the other just as steamers shoot rapids. The sand and stones spurting up round them. Once started, there was no chance of stopping, and before they were fairly in the bed of the ravine, Rama winded Shere Khan and bellowed. Ha! Ha! Said Mowgli on his back. Now thou knowest. And the torrent of black horns, foaming muzzles, and staring eyes whirled down the ravine like boulders in flood time. The weaker buffaloes being shouldered out to the sides in the ravine where they tore through the creepers. They knew what the business was before them, the terrible charge of the buffalo herd against which no tiger can hope to stand. Shere Khan heard the thunder of their hooves, picked himself up, and lumbered down the ravine, looking from side to side for some way of escape. But the walls But the walls of the ravine were straight, and he had to keep on, heavy with his dinner and his drink, willing to do anything rather than fight. The herd splashed through the pool he had just left, bellowing till the narrow cut rang. Mowgli heard an answering bellow from the foot of the ravine, saw Shere Khan turn. The tiger knew if the worst came to the worst, it was better to meet the bulls than the cows with their calves. And then Rama tripped, stumbled, and went on again over something soft, and with the bulls at his heels, crashed full into the other herd, while the weaker buffaloes were lifted clean off their feet by the shock of the meeting. That charge carried both herds out into the plain, goring and stamping and snorting. Mowgli watched his time and slipped off Rama's neck, laying about him right and left with his stick. Quick, Akela, break them up, scatter them, or they will be fighting one another. Drive them away, Akela. Hi, Rama, hi, 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 my children. Softly now, softly. It is all over. Akela and Grey Brother ran to and fro, nipping the buffalo's legs, and though the herd wheeled once to charge up the ravine again, Mowgli managed to turn Rama, and the others followed him to the wallows. Shere Khan needed no more trampling. He was dead, and the kites were coming for him already. Brothers, that was a dog's death, said Mowgli, feeling for the knife he always carried in a sheath round his neck, now that he lived with men. But he would never have shown fight. His hide would look well on the council rock. We must get to work swiftly. Before I go too much further, let me grab that picture. Here, before the buffalo have charged him, he turns back and looks back at the bulls, thinking, I'd rather face the bulls than the cows with their calves. It's an interesting shot, though. I'm guessing Maurice did this artwork just because of how detail oriented it is. Edward is more gestural with his details, whereas Maurice had a lot more like texture. Like in the fur here, a lot more shading and texture and a little bit more depth. That's beautiful, though. Absolutely beautiful work. Okay, go back to the story. Oh, thanks, Bone.
The Bone Collar gifted a tier 1 subscription to
my first
Armanta's VT.
subscriber little card thing. Wait, I think it was supposed to show, whatever. I don't know. I still don't understand my alerts just yet. Thank you, Bone, for the gifted sub to Almantis. And I think it should show the same alert GIF graphic for both gifted subs and resubscribe and initial subscribers. So I'm not sure. I can't think offhand if it actually played, because Higara was kind enough to donate 5 subs earlier today. So I don't know if it played then. I think it did. I'm not positive. It's only been an hour and my brain is already shot. Can you believe it? Fix that. Okay. A boy trained among men would never have dreamed of skinning a 10-foot tiger alone. But Mowgli knew better than anyone else how an animal's skin is fitted on and how it can be taken off. But it was hard work, and Mowgli slashed and tore and grunted for an hour while the wolves lolled out their tongues, or came forward and tugged as he ordered them. Presently a hand fell on his shoulder, and looking up he saw Buldeo with the tower musket. The children had told the village about the buffalo stampede, and Buldeo went out angrily, only too anxious to correct Mowgli for not taking better care of the herd. The wolves dropped out of sight as soon as they saw the man coming. "What is this folly?" said Buldeo angrily. "To think that thou canst skin a tiger. Where did the buffaloes kill him?" "It is the lame tiger, too, and there is 100 rupees on his head." "Well, well, we will overlook thy letting the herd run off, and perhaps I will give thee one of the rupees of the reward when I have taken the skin to Konhiwara." He fumbled in his waistcloth for flint and steel and stooped down to singe Shere Khan's whiskers. Most native hunters singe a tiger's whiskers to prevent his ghost haunting them. Hum, said Mowgli half to himself as he ripped back the skin of a forepaw. So thou wilt take the hide to Khanhiwara for the reward, and perhaps give me 1 rupee. Now it is in my mind that I need the skin for my own use. Heh, old man, take away that fire. What talk is this to the chief hunter of the village? Thy luck and the stupidity of thy buffaloes have helped thee to this kill. The tiger had just fed, or he would have gone 20 miles by this time. Thou canst not even skin him properly, little beggar brat, and forsooth I, Buldeo, must be told not to singe his whiskers. Mowgli, I will not give thee 1 anna of the reward, but only a very big beating. Leave the carcass. By the bull that bought me, said Mowgli, who was trying to get at the shoulder, must I stay babbling to an old ape all noon? Here, Akela, this man plagues me. Buldeo, who was still stooping over Shere Khan's head, found himself sprawling on the grass with a gray wolf standing over him. Not a good time. While Mowgli went on skinning as though he were alone in all India. Yes, he said between his teeth. Thou art altogether right, Buldeo. Thou wilt never give me 1 anna of the reward. There is an old war between this lame tiger and myself, a very old war, and I have won. Well, I guess. Are you winning, son? I guess. To do Buldeo justice, if he had been 10 years younger, he would have taken his chance with Akela had he met the wolf in the woods. But a wolf who obeyed the orders of this boy, who had private wars with man-eating tigers, was not a common animal. It was sorcery, magic of the worst kind. You know, I think I need to calibrate this a little more. Ba, 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 ba. Down a little, up a little. There we go. Somewhere in there, I think. Somewhere in there. Nope. Down a little more. I got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Deedly-dee. Somewhere in there? Maybe. Maybe. I think we're cooking with gas now. Perfect. It was sorcery of the worst. It was sorcery, magic of the worst kind, thought Buldeo, and he wondered whether the amulet round his neck would protect him. He lay as still, expecting every minute to see Mowgli turn into a tiger too. Maharaj, great king, he said at last in a husky whisper. Yes, said Mowgli, without turning his head, chuckling a little. I am an old man. I did not know that thou wast anything more than a herd boy. May I rise up and go away, or will thy servant tear me to pieces? Go, and peace go with thee. Only another time. Do not meddle with my game. Let him go, Akela. Buldeo hobbled away to the village as fast as he could, looking back over his shoulder in case Mowgli should change into something terrible. When he got back to the village, he told a tale of magic and enchantment and sorcery that made the priest look very grave. Mowgli went on with his work, but it was nearly twilight before he and the wolves had drawn the great gay skin clear of the body. Sure. Now we must hide this and take the buffaloes home. Help me to herd them, Akela. The herd rounded up in the misty twilight, and when they got near the village, Mowgli saw lights and heard the conches and bells in the temple blowing and banging. Half the village seemed to be waiting for him by the gate. That is because I have killed Shere Khan, he said to himself. But a shower of stones whistled about his ears, and the villagers shouted, Sorcerer! Wolf sprat! Jungle demon! Go away! Get hence quickly. That was... Or the priest will turn thee into a wolf again. Shoot, Buldeo, shoot! And that picture, because it's turned round, Here's the picture of the return of the buffalo back to the village. Just really nice work. Like excellent gradient, and this is with the age of time and the acid of the paper. I think in its original hues with the grasses and the sky would have been so much more brilliant. Either way, that is very clearly a buffalo bull. That's pretty cool. I think they did a really good job. I'm glad that their artwork continued long after they passed away. Ba, ba, ba. And da 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 da. And now, much more than this, I did it my way. Okay. Let's see. We're on page Werewolf. Weverwolf?
Weverwolf just followed.
Welcome in, Weverwolf. Welcome to my library. Man, those alerts turned out too good. they turned out really good. The old tower musket went off with a bang, and a young buffalo bellowed in pain. More sorcery, shouted the villagers. He can turn bullets. Buldeo, that was thy buffalo. Now what is this? Said Mowgli, bewildered, as the stones flew thicker. They are not unlike the pack, these brothers of thine, said Akela, sitting down composedly. It is in my head that if bullets mean anything, they would cast thee out. Wolf, wolf's cub, go away, shouted the priest, waving a sprig of the sacred tulsi plant. Again, last time it was because I was a man, this time it is because I am a wolf. Let us go, Akela. A woman, it was Messua, ran across to the herd and cried, "Oh, my son, my son! They say thou art a sorcerer, who can turn himself into a beast at will. I do not believe, but go away or they will kill thee. Buldeo says thou art a wizard, but I know thou hast avenged Nathu's death. Come back, Messua, shouted the crowd. Come back or we will stone thee." This village is angry. Mad angry. Mowgli laughed, a little, short, ugly laugh, for a stone had hit him in the mouth. Run back, Messua. This is one of the foolish tales they tell under the big tree at dusk. I have at least paid for thy son's life. Farewell, and run quickly, for I shall send the herd in more swiftly than their brickbats. I am no wizard, Messua. Farewell. Now, once more, Akela, he cried, bring the herd in. The buffaloes were anxious enough to get to the village. They hardly needed Akela's yell, but charged through the gate like a whirlwind, scattering the crowd right and left. Keep count, shouted Mowgli scornfully. If it may be that I have stolen one of them, keep count, for I will do your hurting no more. Fare you well, children of men, and thank Messua that I do not come in with my wolves and hunt you up and down your street. He turned on his heel and walked away with the lone wolf. And as he looked up at the stars, he felt happy. No more sleeping in traps for me, Akela. Let us get Shere Khan's skin and go away. No, we will not hurt the village, for Messua was kind to me. When the moon rose over the plain, making it look all milky, the horrified villagers saw Mowgli with 2 wolves at his heels and a bundle on his head, trotting across at the steady wolf's trot that eats up the long miles like fire. Then they banged the temple bells and blew the conches louder than ever, and Messua cried. And Buldeo embroidered the story of his adventures in the jungle till he ended by saying that Akela stood up on his hind legs and talked like a man. The moon was just going down when Mowgli and 2 wolves came to the hill of the Council Rock, and they stopped at Mother Wolf's cave. They have cast me out from the man pack, Mother, shouted Mowgli, but I am come with the hide of Shere Khan to keep my word. Mother Wolf walked stiffly from the cave, with the cubs behind her, and her eyes glowed as she saw the skin. I told him on that day when he crammed his head and shoulders into this cave, hunting for thy life, little frog. I told him that the hunter would be the hunted. It is well done. Little brother, it is well done, said a deep voice in the thicket. We were lonely in the jungle without thee. And Bagheera came running to Mowgli's bare feet. They clambered up the council rock together, and Mowgli spread the skin out on the flat stone where Akela used to sit, and pegged it down with 4 slivers of bamboo, and Akela lay down upon it, and called the old call to the council. Look, look well, O wolves! Exactly as he had called Mowgli was exactly as he had called when Mowgli was first brought there. Ever since Akela had been deposed, the pack had been without a leader, hunting and fighting at their own pleasure. But they answered the call from habit, and some of them were lame from the traps they had fallen into, and some limped from shot wounds, and some were mangy from eating bad food, and many were missing. But they came to the council rock, all that were left of them, and saw Shere Khan's striped hide on the rock, and the huge claws dangling at the end of the empty, dangling feet. Little repetitive in dangling there. Would you say that's a dangling participle? I should be shamed. I should be shamed in the street. No. It was then that Mowgli made up a song without any rhymes, a song that came up into his throat all by itself, and he shouted it aloud, leaping up and down on the rattling skin, and beating time with his heels till he had no more breath left, while Gray Brother and Akela howled between the verses. Look well, O wolves! Have I kept my word? Said Mowgli when he had finished, and the wolves bayed, yes, and one tattered wolf howled, Lead us again, O Akela, lead us again, O man cub, for we be sick of this lawlessness, and we would be the free people once more. Nay, purred Bagheera. They may not be. When ye are full fed, the madness may come upon ye again. Not for nothing are ye called the free people. Ye fought for freedom, and it is yours. Eat it, O wolves. Man pack and wolf pack have cast me out, said Mowgli. Now I will hunt alone in the jungle. And we will hunt with thee, said the 4 cubs. So Mowgli went away and hunted with the 4 cubs in the jungle from that day on. But he was not always alone, because years afterward he became a man and married. But that is a story for grown-ups. Mowgli's song, that he sang at the council rock when he danced on Shere Khan's hide. The song of Mowgli. I, Mowgli, am singing. Let the jungle listen to the things I have done. Shere Khan said he would kill all the gates in the twilight. He would kill Mowgli the frog. He ate and he drank. Drink, sleep, drink deep, Shere Khan, for when wilt thou drink again? Sleep and kill, dream of the kill. I am alone on the grazing grounds. Gray Brother, come to me, Lone Wolf, for there is big game afoot. Bring up the great bull buffaloes, the blue-skinned herd bulls with the angry eyes. Drive them to and fro as I order. Sleepest thou still, Shere Khan? Wake, oh wake, here come I, and the bulls are behind. Rama, the king of the buffaloes, stamped with his foot. Waters of the Waingunga, whither went Shere Khan? He is not Iki to dig holes, nor Mao, the peacock, that he should fly. He is not Mang, the bat, to hang in the branches little bamboos that creak together. Tell me where he ran. Ow! He is there. Awoo! He is there. Under the feet of Rama lies the lame one. Up, Shere Khan, up and kill. Here is meat. Break the necks of the bulls. Hush! He is asleep. He will not wake him, for his strength is very great. The kites have come down to see it. The black ants have come up to know it. There is a great assembly in his honor. Ah la la! I have no cloth to wrap me. The kites will see that I am naked. I am ashamed to meet all these people. Lend me thy coat, Shere Khan, lend me thy gay striped coat, that I may go to the council rock. By the bull that brought me, I have made a promise, a little promise, only thy coat is lacking before I keep my word. With the knife that men use, with the knife of the hunter, the man, I will stoop down for my gift. Waters of the Wengunga, bear witness that Shere Khan gives me his coat for the love that he bears me. Pull, Grey Brother, pull, Akela, heavy is the hide of Shere Khan. The Man Pack are angry. They throw stones and talk child's talk. My mouth is bleeding. Let us run away. Through the night, through the hot night, run swiftly with me, my brothers. We will leave the lights of the village and go to the low moon. Waters of the Wengunga, the Man Pack have cast me out. I did them no harm, but they were afraid of me. Why? Wolf Pack, ye have cast me out too. The jungle is shut to me, and the village gates are shut. Why? As Mang flies between the beasts, and the birds so fly I between the village and the jungle. Why? I dance on the hide of Shere Khan, but my heart is very heavy. My mouth is cut and wounded with the stones from the village, but my heart is very light because I have come back to the jungle. Why? These two things fight together in me as snakes fight in the spring. The water comes out of my eyes, yet I laugh while it falls. Why? I am two Mowglis, but the hide of Shere Khan is under my feet. All the jungle knows that I have killed Shere Khan. Look, look well, O wolves. Ahaya! My heart is heavy with the things that I do not understand. That's a whole mood. Let's see, look at our time here. It's probably going to yell at me here soon. Yeah, I've got... Before I get cooking with another whole section, because that will be, I think that's going to be 30 pages. Let me check. That's 30. Yep, that would be 155 to 198. That would be 44. I could probably, we'll see how far I can get in another hour. Ba 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 da ba. I'm loving it. There we go. So before I get cooking on another whole section, let's go ahead and have an ad break. And then when I come back, we'll either, this allows me to go to the restroom. When I come back, we'll either do another whole section, or maybe we'll just sit around and chatter for a minute. I haven't really gotten to hang out with just people in my stream before, which would be nice. So hold your horses. Not hold your horses. Hold your hats. I don't know. Something. Relax. I'll be back in 3 minutes. I'm just going to use the restroom. So, in a quick ad break. BRB. Okay, and we're back. Hello, Weaver Wolf, or Weaver Wolf. Do you prefer Weaver or Weaver Wolf? Also, welcome in, for any time, first time chatters, it's wonderful to have you. Mara, I don't know if you're still there, you lovely human being, but welcome in. I still love your planet. Your Mara planet is one of my favorites. So whatever, Wolf. Haha. I should be ashamed. Just I'll try to say Weverwolf. I think that feels right. Um yeah, thank you guys for sticking around after the ad breaks. Um I am still figuring out a lot of things about my content. I'm figuring out what I am doing, and here, I'm going to swap to the book cover there. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to read another big section because it is a beast of another section of the book. And I've had mixed feelings about this book. It is very, very violent. um, in a way that's hard to explain. Um, like not a natural level of violence, like the sheer animosity that Shere Khan held on to for Mowgli is fascinating to me. And he's got to be what, like 10 years old? He's super young and he's doing all of these great and amazing things. And don't get me wrong, I think that children of most ages are capable of great, wonderful things, invention, creativity, um, you know, spelling, backwards and forwards, like everything. Like the human mind at a young age is capable of probably infinitely more than my aged and infirm gray matter. Hmm. It does feel like as time has gone on that my knowledge and experience has been useful, but I forget things. I don't like it. Like I feel like I was sharper, faster, smarter when I was younger, and more aware of a lot of different content. Um, but I'm really excited about the things that I have been building, the new follower, the new alerts and stuff. I've got a couple of yeah. That's a great attitude to have, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. I will grab this. Da, 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 da. Go out with a bang. Let's see. This one. Let's edit. Just vibing. There we go. We updated that. Um, there's a number of books that I have got kind of dialed in, and I'm curious to see if what other people would want me to read next. I have been deeply considering switching to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday format and freeing up my weekends. I love summer living here in Alaska. I love the hiking, the biking, the kayaking, the overnight camping, the drives down the Kenai Peninsula or driving up north to Fairbanks and Chena Hot Springs. Um, if you like the natural world, this is amazing, amazing place. Um, let's see. I'm gonna grab this. I'll put that over there. Let's see. We'll go ahead and I need to grab this from today so we can save it later. I don't normally sit here and just kind of chatter about, but I think it would be nice to start spending a little bit more time with you guys, my community, kind of to learn a little bit more about what you guys enjoy about the stream, what do you guys think is working, and what you think I would benefit from trying. I had a couple of books that were suggested last time that are on my list. Would it be beneficial to make a Discord server? To communicate like book suggestions and kind of keep everything dialed in. Exodus. Oh, welcome
Exodus
in.
just followed.
Thank you for the follow, Exodus. I am still figuring things out. I'm not quite a year into this, but I feel like I'm getting a real sense of like who I want to be. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. I think all of the alerts that I had made turned out really, really good. Speaking of which, I need to grab the info from Arbakek. Because I was going to send that to Wild because they like the emotes. And I think that they did. So Arbakek is fantastic. Like, bar none. Let me grab their info here. So this is Arbakek 2.0. This is who did my, did the art for my alerts, and they just, their emotes are super, super cute. Their panels are super cute. They do PNG models. They're just really beautiful artworks. I know they've done like, I think they've done a few masculine streamers as well, but I think they just do an incredible job. Their art is just fantastic. I was going to send that to Wild while I'm thinking about it before I forget, because my memory is shot, because I'm an old lady. Sometimes an old lady. There is Wild. So this is Wild. There we go. And then on VGen, let's pull up Nico Rem. I believe they're both streamers. Um, This is, you guys don't need to see my list of everybody I follow here. So this is Nico Rem. This is them working on another streamer here. They're rigging, like they do incredibly smooth, soft rigging. I saw, let me go to their VGen. Is that on here? That might be on here. About up Instagram, I guess. Updates. I really gotta get him to update this. Incredible artist. Why don't let me do a shout out for Nico Rem actually. Shout out for at Nico Rem. There we go. Maybe it'll show a nice clip of them doing what they do best. Hey Fallen, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Here we go.
Sei una VTuber? Hai una voce sexy? Sì che lo hai. Non me ne frega un cazzo, lo so che lo hai. Dimmi che sono un bravo ragazzo, dimmi che I'm a good boy. Interrompi R, grazie a te.
I have no idea what that was, but it was clearly Italian, and it sounded a little thirsty. Sir, this is a Wendy's. You are not wrong. If a library could be a Wendy's. Let me... Nicorem. So, I was looking for an alert artist, and I saw... Here, I'll just go right to it, because they do a lot of, like, goofy, scrunkly things these days. I had to do so much back-end research to find. So first of all, I thought this was the coolest, like, alerts I had ever seen to start with. And then, so I had to find out who did this, like, who this person was. And then that's what led me to the artist, which is Arbakek. And then from Arbakek, like I got the commission done with Arbakek for the art with the sliced. It was just a couple extra bucks to get them pre-sliced for rigging. And then I was like, all right, this is the one. This is the man. Um, lately though, they've been doing a lot of scrunklies, so I think having a little variety in doing my alerts was kind of nice. Cause man, that is a lot of scrunklies. So many scrunkles. These are phenomenal. Oh, I wonder if they have the like evolution one where it's like they're walking along and then suddenly their legs go tall. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. They're so good. Yeah, there's the one. Go back there. This one here. Yep, her legs got super huge. I saw that on Twitter a couple of days ago and it was killing me. It was so good. But yeah. Leg! By the power of Grayskull, I cast leg. Ah, yeah. But yeah, mad talented. When I eventually get an illustration done for my starting soon and my be right back screens, this is the artist. This is the one. For sure. I cannot pimp them out enough. I'm just blown away. I think they have reasonable rates. I love their style. I think their animation is top tier. Yeah, they're fucking phenomenal. So I will send that information off as well to Wild. I don't know if he's still here. Rigging by there. Okay. But yeah, I am a big fan of VGen, as far as like places to find art and find artists to do art for you. Phenomenal. Like I would say if I hadn't gone with Yuki, 88 Design would have been the the artist that I would have gone to for my emotes because they are prolific and mad talented artists as well, if it ever loads. But yeah, they've done so many, like so many different mega packs of emotes. I know a lot of artists, a lot of streamers that have these. Just incredible. Their animations are really good, super smooth. Like the artwork is really cute. Unlike a lot of artists use like the same bases for a lot of different things. I I think that they do a phenomenal job of like starting from scratch. Like they have their own bases that they do their designs off of. Like these are some of the animated lovey-dovey bases that they've done. So they start there and then they just customize it to each individual. It's super cute. Look at these. Look at this with the thing of roses. I fucking love it. But VGen, if you're not already in the know for finding artists, no AI, no like they're just a really great platform to find everything from illustrators, animators, background artists, everything. Absolutely everything. I this is the this is the way. Um as Ugandan Knuckles would say, Due. This is Due. I think this is where you will find, if you're looking for any kind of art to be made for your own channel or for, you know, gifting to other people, this is the way. They have great policies. They have really, their search engine has gotten so much easier to navigate. If you see something that you really like, so hey, I think that this artist does a really good job. I like their stuff. You make an account, you can save it. It's like save to list, you know. So like art that I want to calm or stuff that I really like, you can just add it right there. And you can have private lists or public lists of whatever things that you like. Honestly, it's kind of like going to Instagram and saving all the stuff that you think is pretty. It's a little addictive because it's just art after art after art after art, and it's really, really nice. Like, look at this mermaid. This is an incredible ref sheet. I love this. The detail in the scales on the body, on the tail, and then all of that iridescence down in the bottom of the tail. 10 out of 10. This might be a me thing, but I would not have included the colors of the water so much in the ref sheet here. I think they were trying to show off the eyes, but it's also in the water too. And I probably just might have put that on a grayer background, perhaps. I don't know. That's a tough call. They have gray skin, so on a black background, the hair would be lost. On a gray background, the body would be lost. On white background, it would be too harsh to look at. Light mode is terrible for everybody involved. So maybe I'm wrong. I think maybe they just did the best they could with the color palette that they had to work with. It's nice. But yeah. Wiggly emotes. The little seal wobble. I've been seeing a lot of different artists take on that one. Anyway, I am in the weeds, as per usual. I think we're going to go ahead and if anybody has any questions for me or about the artists that I have supported or upcoming commissions that I have ordered of people that I would recommend. Speaking of which, Pork Buns. Pork Buns is the latest artist that I followed that I'm not going to be able to get enough. I love how they depict the feminine form, which is soft and luscious and just bad bitch coated. It's super, super sexy. Let me grab that here right there. So shout out. I might be able to get another Pork Buns. So Pork Buns is another artist that does they're a live streamer. They stream when they're doing art. They also play games, so it's kind of more variety.
Oh, I am.
This is definitely an older stream. This is an
Fucking
older model.
What the? But Solomon!
Aw, she's blushing. So she is
I'll just be here for the rest of the evening. Thank you.
That's adorable. She does an amazing amount of artwork on her stream, plays various video games. She is clearly an orc, super cool. Penny is a pork bun delivery girl, which I think is just incredibly funny and very, very, very cute. Let me pull up her page. Maybe we could see her stuff. I cannot. I think I enjoy Twitch entirely too much for other artists. I have some PNGs coming through. I've got a live 2D model that I'm also getting rigged, but I have some more PNGs getting done so I can do like more gaming streams because I would feel very silly to sit here with a book in my hand and read to you all while I'm playing, I don't know, Sea of Thieves. So I have some PNGs that I got ordered, to the ones with like an art tablet so I can do art streams. I've got one with a video game controller and one of my character dressed as a pirate because I love Sea of Thieves, and I'm also in an incredible alternating weekend D&D campaign where I play a pirate, Grace O'Malley, based off of the original Grace O'Malley, who is an Irish pirate that sailed in Europe and was terrifying for like over 70 years. People don't really talk about famous female pirates. She was a bad bitch. And I really loved her. I think she's fascinating. Like, she got tired of her husband, got divorced, and married someone else, and she was always on the sea from like early childhood when she cut off all of her hair so that like she could be a cabin boy and they wouldn't know she was there, to like literally going in front of the Queen of England and saying like, you need to release my sons or else. So She was a, take no shit pirate. And I gotta respect that. She was a cool lady. Um, I am just rambling at this point. Let me find Pork Bun's page on their Twitter, maybe? Maybe, no, we'll go over to their, give me a second. Do, 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 do. Let's go to Pork Bun's page. Maybe we can see some more of their content. Like I said, 10 out of 10. I came across this artist randomly on I think it was on Twitter originally, and I'm like, I need more of that. Okay. Yeah, this is the more newer model that they've been working off of. This, don't care about that. Full page. That is the wrong full page. There we go. I don't know. I know something you know. So here she is doing some line art. It looks like this is just a clip, but this is her current model. Obviously, it's changed a lot since that clip that I saw. That's another artist. God, what was the name? Riz something is that other artist that's in that clip there. Another just cute little goblin artist. I just honestly, just you guys, if you're not already following them, you should. Just really good content. But yeah, I've sent something for a commission from her. I've got some stuff in the works with the Dark Cartoon. I've got some stuff with Pandamatsu. I'm always cooking. I'm always cooking. I don't know why I'm so fascinated and want to be surrounded by art, but I am. And I think that this engagement, I guess. Oh my god, it's Grim Glassman. Also, another bangin' artist. Fantastic glass artist, you guys. This is Grim Glassman, who I also play Overwatch with occasionally. Man, just another artist. I don't know how many more shout outs I can have, but I should give you one too. Grim. Let's see what ancient coded thing the shout out will pull for your info at Grim Glassman. Oh yeah, Pork Buns is amazing. I'm curious what it'll pull.
I wanted to try and like at least have one clip of me actually doing something with stained glass because I looked and I noticed that like someone tried to shout me out or whatever, but then the clip that came up was just like of me playing a game, and they were like, "Where's the stained glass stuff?"
The fucking irony. That is too fucking funny. Oh man, Grim, that is really fucking hilarious. It's the most meta shit ever. I needed a clip of me actually doing glass art. No glass. Now, actually, in that shot you could see the glass that had yet to be cut, but it was it was incredibly like spooky. I need that do 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 do, like the spooky music from X-Files or something to play for that. That was too fucking funny. Okay. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, all of my friends, my Libro files here at the amazing library of your local tiger librarian. I think we should go bother my friend the Bone Caller. I wish another one of my reader friends was on, but I just checked my list and nobody is. Tons of artists. Vil is talking with an owl lady. Nikto's playing some Elden Ring. Lunchbox is playing Fable. I mean, just everybody's playing something. Yeah, but I think it would be really funny to go bother Bonecaller. He's playing as a cute little crab critter right now. And if you guys haven't checked out Bonecaller before, this is a good opportunity. So let's go say hi. Yep. Be sure to grab your raid message here. The raid emote that I have is available for followers, not just subscribers. So, let's go visit the Bonecaller. I know that guy. He's pretty cool. There he is. Okay. All right. Everyone, it was an absolute pleasure. I know I kind of just rambled here at the end of this one today, but I had fun today. And what if, like, streaming should always be about having fun. And I think engaging with all of you and talking about books and art and the things that bring me my greatest joys is definitely coded into my very like pleasure-centered brain. I love it. And if eventually I'm gonna try and do some more collabs, Almantis, Valis, the Bone Caller, get some other people in here to talk poetry, talk books. I was on Wild's stream a while back, and I'd love to like reciprocate and have him come on and talk horror literature. I might have to plan that out in October. That would be that. I need to remember that. I'm gonna write that down. That's a good idea. By the way, Wild's up and coming live, their newest model, they're rigging for it. Mwah, chef's kiss. It's so good. Okay. Wild Dosis October horror lit discussion. All right. Well, that will have to wait until after my anniversary in the beginning of October. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Let's go say hi to Bonecaller. Alley-oop.